Hello, boys and girls, and welcome back to the second edition of Beginning Trumpet with Mr. Goss. And I hope your practice has been going well, and I hope you're figuring things out on the trumpet. If not, I'll give you a couple more pointers today to help you, because it is a physically athletic kind of thing that you're doing, and learning how to make your lips vibrate in a certain way, and air move in a certain way, and shape your tongue in a certain way, and all those things. So don't get discouraged. Just keep practicing, and things will get easier and easier over time. So the first thing I want to show you is something I didn't show you last week, which was emptying the water out. Because when you blow warm, moist air through a trumpet, it definitely water collects. And so when it collects, we can't really empty it out on the floor or mom's favorite carpet. Those aren't good ideas. So instead, I have two things here that work quite well. An old rag that you can set on the floor, or even better, a bucket where you can empty the water into the bucket and it just stays there forever. And especially one with a plastic lining, even better. You just throw it out after using it a few times and using it for other things. So, okay, so those are my suggestions for that. Now the water key is down here at the end of the trumpet. So what tends to happen is the hand that holds the trumpet, this left hand, you reach down with the other hand that plays the valves, and you open the water key up and you blow air. You don't have to buzz or anything, you just blow air and you empty the water out. And that's how you do that. And you empty it out over the bucket or the rag, and it goes there, and it's just moisture, it's water. And so you don't worry about it. You just put it there and you move on with your practicing. Okay? That's the first thing, is the bucket and the rag for the water key. The second thing I wanted to show you today was just a quick review of how to start on the trumpet. And I do this every lesson. For those first 5 lessons that I teach in the summer, I do these special little tricks. So one thing I didn't mention last week is sometimes kids try to buzz their mouthpiece and they get air and not buzz. So if that happens to you, that means your lips are too far apart and they're not vibrating. So what you want to do is, so sometimes I say, imagine you have a watermelon seed on the end of your lip and you just want to spit it off like that. And you just want to get that kind of shape to your lip, and so they're close enough to vibrate. So that's really important. So I'd say what you want to do is get your lips closer together. Again, we always, when we start playing, we have the plastic Ziploc bag, and we say OM. Get the mouthpiece right in the center of the lips, half on the upper lip, half on the lower lip, half on the upper lip, half on the lower lip. OM. You do that 4 times, and then just review that like you did from the first video. And now the second thing is the tongue and buzz. So again, getting that the air in the tongue going and creating the lip vibration again. You do that 4 times. Okay, so we would review all that, and I'm just checking everybody individually to make sure they're all doing well. But if you sound like I do, then you're doing it well. If you have a different sound or it's not speaking, sometimes the lips aren't quite close together. That means my lips aren't close enough together when I start. They need to start together, and then the air going through them makes them vibrate. And so that's the secret. Start with your lips together, O-M. See, the upper lip especially vibrates. The lower lip's kind of like a foundation lip. So very good. So after the buzzing's done, we pick up the trumpet, just like in other weeks, and we go and review our 3 notes, E, D, and C. Okay? E's 1 and 2. And then we review D, 1 and 3. And C, open. There we go. Those are your 3 notes that you did from last time, so hopefully they're coming out okay. Sometimes we get a little too high if our lips are too firm. Those notes can come out. That was a C and then a G, and those notes can come out if you're a little too high. Work on relaxing down, because we will get to those high notes in just a couple of minutes. So, but once again, it's E and D and C. Okay, so you see those 3 notes, very important, and review those and make sure you got those going. Once you can play those 3 notes really well, then I think it's time to start getting ready to play in the book. And here's the notes we need to get ready to play in the book. The next 2 notes to learn to get our 5 notes down to be ready to play in the book is F. And my air goes a little faster through the trumpet. I take a deep breath and I push it through. And it's first vowel, but it sounds like this. 2, 3. 2, 3, 4. I'm only going to do that one 3 times because I think that's what the book does too. So that's F. Okay, so that's your first valve note, first valve F. Very important note. The lip's a little firmer, the air's a little faster. Things are happening now. We're building up some muscle, developing some muscle. So now we can get ready to perform another new note, which is G. A little bit firmer. It's open like C, but my lip is firmer than it was for C, so I get a different note. Rest, 2, 3. Rest, 2, 3. Rest, 2, 3, 4. I'm definitely tonguing when I start the note. We talked about that last week, articulation. Last time we had that in the video that was there. So make sure you're going 2 with the buzz. It goes. That's what's happening. And then the mouthpiece just focuses that. Then the trumpet amplifies it. There we go. So those are all the steps and pieces that you have to put together. So that's what the practice is for. So let me give you a secret here. The people who practice a little bit every day do better than the people who like practice the day before the lesson. I've got a lesson tomorrow, I got to practice. They don't do as well because they haven't been training these things, these muscles every day or most every day. So that 10 minutes a day really matters right now to get that in. Even if you miss a day, try to do an extra 5 the next day, and maybe do 10 and then 5 later, and just keep training those muscles. Keep training. Great thing to do on those hybrid days is spend a little extra time practicing and doing all these skills. If you're at home on a remote day rather, and at hybrid day at school, of course, you're a little bit busier. But the remote days are great days for practicing. Now we're going to move on to the next thing that I do in the in the second lesson, and that's this. I think it's really important to have a music stand. And so I have many music stands around the house, but my old favorite is the one I had when I got in 6th grade back in this old trumpet music stand rather is still working great today. These things are, I don't know, $12, $15 at the music store or online. You can order them. There's the bottom part, the bass. Then I put the top part together. Pull it up a little bit. Put it on like that. And I have a music stand and I'm ready to go. Why a music stand and not setting it on my case on the bed or something like that? It's because you develop bad posture habits. And it's so important to be tall when you play because it opens up your throat, it opens up your breathing apparatus, your lungs, and really helps you to make a great sound. So we'll talk more about air today. But here's your book. I think most of you are playing out of Accent on Achievement. And that's a good book. This happens to be a horn book, but it's got trumpet notes in it too. So I'm going to use that for today. And the first notes and the first few pages you should review because there are things you probably learned in general music about all the different things you do. So how to hold the instrument, how to read music, and you've done that a little bit in general music. But it's good to review it because it's all important things to know. So we're going to start with our first note in the book. And that's the E. First line, it's on the first line. Every good boy deserves fudge. Remember those notes that you learned, those lines you learned? Still the same thing here. Every good boy deserves fudge. So now I've got the music stand. I've got me in my chair sitting up tall, making sure the stand is just right for me. I push down 1 and 2, and I'm going to play that first note, E. Rest, 2, 3, 4. Rest, 2, 3, 4. Rest, 2, 3, 4. Rest, 2, 3, 4. Good place to turn off the video and practice that a little bit and listen to yourself and see if you sound like I did on the video. And once you're satisfied with that, go on to the next one, which is called going up. Rest 2, playing F, first valve. Rest 2, 3, 4. Rest 2, 3, 4. Then number 3 is lines and spaces, and you play basically E on the bottom line, and then F on the first space. Okay, so the spaces, of course, spell F-A-C-E going up. Just a review of your general music skills. So here we go. This is line number 3. Rest 2, 3. Keep the air moving fast through the F. Rest 2 and back to E. Rest 2, 3, 4. So there's a great place to practice. Maybe this is a good time to turn the video off again and practice that. And the final note I would teach in the second and maybe even the third lesson, for a lot of people who wouldn't get this far until the third lesson, is to play G. Okay? G is firmer than the C that we learned early. It's like this. Every note I go higher, my lip gets firmer, and my air goes faster. Can you do a hiss like that? That's how you blow fast air for the G. So let's try G. 1, 2, ready? Rest 2, 3. Rest 2, 3, 4. Rest for one measure, 3, 4. Rest for another measure, 2, 3. There we go, and that is what you would do in the second lesson. So now the last thing you do after your practice is empty the water into the bucket or rag. Take your mouthpiece out, put your trumpet away, pack up, latch the case, nice and secure, and you are all set to go practice 10 more minutes a day for your second week of great practices. Keep practicing and keep improving, guys. We'll see you soon for another video.